And hello, welcome to the second series of the Beast Adventures Rig Clinic. And after the success of the Dongle rig demo that I gave to you guys, I thought I'd show you my next go-to rig when it comes to this time of year. Winter is upon us, although the weather's quite warm outside. We know it's turning, we know we're getting the storms in, and it's that time of year where you might need to scratch around a bit. Not to say that this rig won't catch you some decent fish. It's a really good sole rig as well. But the rig I'm talking about is the Cascade rig, which was shown to me by the late great Dave Brown, and it served me well over the last few years. It's a great rig. It is probably the most complicated rig that you'll ever use, and if I'm being honest with you, it's a bit of a ball ache to make. So I'd suggest that when you're sitting at home thinking about fishing, watching fishing, talking about fishing to your mates on the phone, this is a great one to sit on your sofa, chill out with a beer, and make, whilst watching TV. And I'd make several of them, because if you crack off and lose one, this is one of them that's going to actually upset you, because the time it takes to make one is painful. And because of that, what I've done is I've tried to film this in a way that I'll show you how I'm making it. As I'm making it, I'll clip in with some views of close-ups, hopefully, that you can see, so you get the understanding of how this is done. Now, the Cascade rig is basically based on three baits or three snoods that all clip down nice and tight, and really it's designed for fine fishing. It's really good for match fishing as well. You can change the rig to make it a two bait sort of approach if you like, but predominantly I use three. And then what you can do is it allows you to get really good distance and fish real fine baits. And you'll find, any fish will pick up your bait, but it's designed mainly for worm baits. So let's crack on, let's get into it. So first and foremost, for me, most of my fishing when I make the rigs, I'd use 60 pound as the main core of the whole thing. What I do is I actually stretch out almost, well, the length of my arm from one to the other. So that's a good, what, 5 feet maybe, possibly like that. Like I said to you, I'll clip in so you can see how things work, because you're not going to see this very well. So the first thing I want to do is, basically the components that are made of this. You've got several components. You've got the imps from Breakaway, you've got Cascade swivels from Breakaway, some dilly little beads, you've got some adjustable crimps, and on top of that, you've got one small little swivel that you bend in, and I'll show you how you do that at the end. So yeah, so first and foremost, what you want is you want your imp, and I'll tie that onto the line straight away. I use 5 to 6 turn blood knot, but the general rule of thumb is the thinner the diameter of the line, the more twist up the line you do as well to give it the strength. So that's the first and foremost what I do. And I'll put that in like so. Moisten down the knot, pull tight. I recommend you do get a hook puller or whatever they call them. Pull tight, make sure it's nice and solid. So that's your first point, that's your base. Obviously cut the tags off. Gonna stick a lead on it just for now, because it just gives me something to tie down to. There we go. So that's the first part. Now it's all about getting the sequence right, because there's a set sequence to how to do this. So what I tend to do is I add all the components onto the rig first, and then I bed everything down, and that'll make more sense as we go through. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add one of the crimps. Now, these crimps specifically, you can't see this because it's so diddy. I don't know, can you see that? Ooh, you can't. But if you brought the adjustable crimps from Breakaway, obviously you can buy them elsewhere. But what they do is it's a soft crimp. And what it allows you to do is put a little bit of rubber through the crimp. You slightly pinch it down. It allows you to adjust the distance between each different snood. And that makes a big difference, and I have to show you that when it's live on the bank, because I can't show you here, it's almost impossible to show the mechanics. So you slide that one straight down. What you do then, followed by, you need some micro beads. I can't tell you what size they are, but they're micro beads. As long as it slides over your main line, you'll be fine. So you slide one bead on all the way down. Then you're going to need some springs, and I forgot to tell you about these springs. These are Tronics Pro rig springs. Other manufacturers do them as well. I believe Gemini do them as well. And this is a real integral part to the rig as well, because what it does is it helps it helps keep tension on the whole rig as you cast. Fiddly, and I told you, this rig's a ball ache. So thread that through your line. To be honest with you, anything more than 60 pounds you might struggle with. Probably get away with 70. So that's it. You've got basically you've got crimp, you've got bead, you've got spring. Then what you're going to do is put another bead on, like so. Let it slide down. Then what you're going to use is a Cascade swivel. Again, you can get these from Breakaway. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but I'll try and get a close shot for you. Just about make up the design of it, but it's got a slight little bend there. It's got a little hook here, and that's where your hook goes in. So you make sure you slide this on the line, so the bent shank of the swivel goes down. I know, I apologize, my camera won't focus on this, but I'll try and, can you see? Yeah. And then on it goes. Okay. So that's the first one, and then you're going to repeat the process. So just to reiterate, just so it sticks in your mind, it's repetitive. You get your crimp, then you get a bead, then you get a spring, which are absolutely nightmare to pick up. Then you put another bead. This is to protect the spring and also to make sure that your swivel doesn't go over the spring. Then you're going to have another cascade. Again, make sure it's pointing down. Then you're going to put in another crimp. See, there's a lot of fiddly bits in this rig, but I promise you this will catch your fish. There. So let me just take stock on what I've done, see if you can see. So they're all, the reason the bead's there, so it allows compression. So that's that one. And then for the last one, you repeat the same. And the only thing you're going to go different this time is, rather than using a cascade swivel, you're going to use just a normal small swivel. And the reason for that is, at the top, there's nothing for the cascade hook to go into. So go there, spring in again. Cool, I tell you what, for 45 my eyesight's not doing too bad. Another bead, and like I said, the only difference you do now once that's on is you get the small swivel like that. Ooh. And what you do is you use pliers to bend it. Again, I'll do this as a zoomed in version so you can see it as I speak. And that is all the components on the rig ready to go. So following this, what you do is you put a quick clip on, and the only reason I use these is because I tie a swivel onto my main line or onto my leader, and then I can bait up one of these rigs ready to go whilst waiting for the fish, you know, waiting for the bite basically. So you're constantly fishing, because at the end of the day, the more hours your bait's in the water, the more chances you have. And let's face it, most of the time we fish to the tide, so you want to make every opportunity and second count. There, moisten down, use a hook puller. The cheapest chips, you get them off eBay for like 50p or something stupid like that, or you can go to like one of the other manufacturers and pay a ridiculous amount of money, but hey, we want to do that. So there you go, that's the rig primarily done. And what I'm going to do is I'll zoom in a minute. I'll show you exactly how you use the adjustables, but in principle, basically what you do is, because they're so hollow, what you do is you use some of these, you stick them through, cut them off, give them a bit of crimp, and then what happens is it allows the crimp to be moved up and down, because you've got to allow for what size snood you make, because you want a longer snood, if you're using 6-inch, you need to be able to adjust the tension on the whole rig, 12-inch, and so on and so on and so forth. So there's no question about it. These are the most fiddliest rigs you'll probably ever make. So we're taking one of the tails. You see it's a bit fatter at the end. That's like a stop. So you need to thread that through into the crimp. And it's not easy. It's fiddly. It's a bit frustrating, but you keep with it. You will get them in until you can see a little tail on the end there. See if you can focus on here. And what you need to do, by some miracle, is actually grab that little tail and pull it through the other side. There you go. So it's coming through the other side, but you need to make sure that little stop there hits the crimp, like so. Right, so that's the first stage. Now all you need to do is nip it down with a couple of crimps with, with pliers. So that's all I'm going to do. You just nip it through a couple of times. 1, 2, 3. That's all you want, because you want this to be able to be adjusted. And then you just snip off the little tail, and that's your first adjustable crimp, like so. And she can move. She still holds on tight, but she can move. If you moisten the line before you do it, it makes it easier. Now you need to do that to every single crimp on the rig. Okay, for the sake of this video, because it's almost impossible to show you the working mechanics of this while I'm sitting at home. So what I'll do is, when we're out on the beach in the next couple of days, I'll get this rig in action, hopefully catch a fish in it, but I'll show you the mechanics and how it works. But it's a really effective rig. But for the sake of this, I'm going to just shorten it all up. So what you're looking at is, you're going to be looking at, from your lead, you've got your imp, you've got the first spring setup, second spring setup, and then you're going to have your third setup. And remember, with the swivel at the very end, that's just been bent slightly, so it just sits nice and neat and streamlined. And then obviously all the way down, it goes to your clip that goes onto your main line. So there you have it. That is what we would call a Cascade rig. That's what I call a Cascade rig, and that's my my variation of it. It served me well, and it's really good for this time of year, because we're going to be scratching around, especially around the Suffolk coast. It's going to be a whiting fest, and if you want to keep yourself entertained, tie yourself up, 6 inches, 7 inches of snood, small hooks, clip them all down. You can get guaranteed distance with these, because it's all clipped down nice and tight. You can guarantee there's going to be an absolute 100% guarantee of release of your bait. And with any luck, you'll bag up. So hope you like this. If you've got any questions, feel free to give us a shout on our YouTube channel. And like every single time, guys, your likes, your shares, your follows is what keeps us going. We're non-profit. We do all this for fun, but obviously we want to build the channel up. We want to show our experience and our adventures with more people. So please, 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 please subscribe, and please like and please share. Till next time. Well, I'll tell you where we'll be next time. We'll be at Chesil Beach. See you then. Okay, guys, as promised, we are now at Ferry Bridge at Chesil. So what I explained on the video about the Cascade rig. So as it's working in action, you've got one hook which is clipped down, second hook clipped down, and then go into the third hook which is also clipped down. Now once your imp hits the water, presses this up and releases the whole lot. And that, my friend, is what you call a Cascade rig. So let's get out there and see if we can get hold of some bream. And there we have it, guys. Bit of bling on there. Nice little wrap. Perfect mouth for a black bream or anything that swims. So let's chug it out there and see what happens. What we got? First fish. Ha! More conger bait. Sweet. There you go. Blank saver. Conger bait. Sweet.